producers, it's Ozgun here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you several different rumble techniques. Actually, I had a video from probably 2 years ago that I show how to make techno rumbles, techno reverb kicks. And in the meantime, I learned several more techniques. And today in this video, I like to share all of the different techno rumble techniques that you can apply this to your own productions. And if you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. So I'm gonna demonstrate the rumble techniques into this tutorial. This was one of the previous tutorials in the channel that I show how to layer techno kicks like Space 92, like Cast, like Umek, like Medix. So if you didn't watch that video, I recommend you to watch it. I put a card on the top. Okay, now we are starting with the first technique, which is the Synth channel that we give some effects to the kick and make it a techno reverb kick, a reverb rumble. So I'm gonna make it really quick because in that video I already made this. So that's why I'm just gonna explain you how we made it. So the third channel is our kick. And as you see, I'm routing the kick to some empty channel. And in that channel, let's unroute the kick to master so we hear what's going on. So if I just deactivate all the effects, we are supposed to hear only the kick, right? Because we are routing the kick to here. Okay, perfect. So first thing, we are putting a reverb to the kick. But in here, if you want to get more accurate, just activate the tempo in here and put the pre-delay time to 2. If you do that, the reverb is only happening in the second part of the beat. So which means we will get the perfect, the cleanest possible reverb on the kick. So the reverb is hitting the second beat to the off beat and we have much more space in the kick. So this is the cleanest reverb if you are achieving this kind of rumbles. And after you having the reverb, just put a distortion. Make it fat as possible. In here, you don't need to use these exact plugins. You can even have some delay after or before reverb. You can do so much stuff. You can try the variations. All of the variations is going to give you a different result. And after that, we are just cutting the very sub frequencies and all the high frequencies. And after that, we will just activate a sidechain filter. And you can just keep coloring it. So a very clean, very basic technique, and I think this is the first level of making rumbles. And yeah, this is the first method, this is the first technique that you probably know about it. So let's go to the second technique. And this technique, let's deactivate the rumble channel. We will just duplicate the main kick. And now let's make it unique. And I'm gonna send it to the 10th channel, which I already prepared some plugins, but let's deactivate it first. So now I'm gonna do something like that. I'm gonna just give it a little bit of time to just stretch the kick. And let's put it on stretch. So we got this rumbling effect already. And now let's pitch it down. So this is just depend on the sample. Sounds good. Now let's cut the tail. Maybe do like that or maybe do like that. So the important thing in here, after you stretch and pitch down the main kick sample, just check with the span and make sure it contains the first octave as a big hill in the first octave. Because sometimes if you pitch it too much or just take some portion without having the sub frequencies, it's not gonna sound good. Make sure you have sub frequencies, just check it with span. And after you check it, the first thing we will do is just apply a high cut. We already got a really deep kick sample, but we will add some convolver reverb. Sounds really good. And we will now apply some distortion. Some more EQ. And after that, I'm applying this stereo enhancer and making it fully mono. And the last thing, we will apply some sidechain. And now we get the perfect rumble with using the kick. And we can just duplicate it like that. And let's test it out with some drums. So with this, you can just use the kick that you have and stretch it, pitch it down and use it as a rumble. And if you like to make it to the next level, you can just get the kick once more. Just don't get the first hit, the click part. We will only use the punch and the tail. So we will just place the kicks like that. But yeah, first let's make them unique and maybe send it to some empty channel. So we will use something like that for the third technique. But this technique is not a rumble by its own. It requires to use a rumble like in the first method or in the any other way that I'm gonna show. So this is just to give some accent, some rhythmic feeling to the bass lines of the rumbling bass lines. So now they sound like that. I'm just high cutting it, making it more deep. And the magic is happening in here. Just try to place the second one a little bit late until you get some, vibe, some rhythmic, danceable groove. And now we are going to activate the rumble. With using this kind of accents, you can get more rich rumbling sounds, more rich grooves in the track. And yeah, let's test the same groove with the previous method of the rumble. And even if you like, you can saturate the groove kicks. And even if you like, you can give it some reverb as well. And again, we are only using the main kick to generate the other sounds, and which gives you more glute mix down, if it makes sense. Okay, let's go to the third way. So for the third way, we are going to need some top loop. Okay, we will get this sound for the third technique. So it's a top loop from SPLICE. And the first thing we should do is just pitch it 1 octave down. If you know a way that I can just pitch it maybe 4 octave with one knob, please let me know. I couldn't find it, that's why I'm just consolidating it and just doing it again several times. So now we got this sound. And we will just pitch it one more time. And one more time. After we just do it several times, let's check it with span. We are trying to make it like go back to the low regions of the spectrum. I think we should do it one more time. Maybe one more time. Now we got the sub frequencies, like after pitching it 4 or 5 times. Think I'm gonna do it now. Just send it to some channel. And in here, the first thing I'm gonna give it some convolver reverb. And some distortion. And probably the first hit is like clipping a little bit. Maybe we don't even get the first hit. Let's do it like that. And now I'm gonna cut the high frequencies. And let's make it mono by adding the stereo enhancer. So maybe instead of convolver, I can use the reverb that I used in the first rumble method. Let's see if it's gonna be better. Okay, both of them sounds pretty decent to me. And yeah, this third technique, you get a loop because the loop already contains some rhythmic groove inside of it, and with pitching it down and applying some reverb and distortion, we are converting this groove to a bass line. Probably requires some luck because you don't get good results all the time, but once you get a really good sample and work it a little bit, sometimes you get so unique, so interesting rumbles and bass lines. And again, you can just combine this technique with the groovy kick hits that we applied. So yeah, that was the third technique that you can make the rumble with using some top loop. And let's go to the fourth technique, which is even more experimental. So for the fourth technique, we are going to use the 3 times oscillator. And in here, we will just generate some random sound. You can use any of the synthesizers such as Serum, Spire, it doesn't matter. So we are gonna probably make them the lowest octave possible. And let's go with the sine waves, but yeah, you can just do experiment with it. Let's go to the lowest octave. And now we are gonna write some random stuff. So it doesn't matter, just experiment and fun with it. And after that, we will send it to some empty channel. And probably we will do the basic processing that we already do. Just cut the high frequencies. Let's give it some distortion. Maybe we can use another EQ. And again, we can apply some reverb. And let's say, as I remember, our kick is in the G note. So this kind of rumbles doesn't even contain a key, but if you like to at least like tonally fix it to the your mix down, you can just boost the notes of the frequencies that you like. In this case, let's boost the G note a little bit. And we will apply some sidechain. And even you can just try experiment with it by just taking different parts of the loop that you created. Every variation is going to give you a different vibe. So yeah guys, as you see, we talk about 4 different rumble techniques in this video. Probably we can generate more techniques or we can improve the techniques that I'm currently using on the video. But yeah, basically the approaches are like that. All you need to make a rumble is one of a sound and just process it. So maybe we can take a look all the techniques that we used today. So the first technique was Synth channel technique. And the second technique was using the kick itself to generate the rumble. And let's go to the third technique, which was using a top loop, pitching it down and processing. And the fourth technique was to use some random notes in any type of oscillator. And all of the techniques, you can always apply this groove tom kick kind of trick. So you can just add some movement and add some more rhythm, more groove to your rumbles, to your bass lines. And yeah guys, that was the summarizing of today's tutorial. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. If you know more techniques and methods to make rumbles, please let me know in the comment section. Today that was it guys. See you on the next video. Bye bye.